Hello, my name is Sozo Lin, a UMLS Academic Bureau Officer, and welcome on board to episode 2 of Research 101. Today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Marcus Wong. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Marcus.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For those who are watching, Mr. Marcus is the Customer Success Consultant of Lexisnexis Malaysia. He is an expert in using the Lexisnexis database and will be showing us the ropes on how to conduct effective research in today's episode. Let's start off with the first question on using Lexisnexis. Mr. Marcus, can you tell us about what exactly is the Lexisnexis database and how does it function?
So Lexisnexis Malaysia is a legal database where users can basically use this platform to conduct case searches, legislation searches, or maybe even secondary materials such as your million-knowledge articles, or maybe even your encyclopedia knowledge of the horse resource of Malaysia, so on and so forth.
I see. I definitely have a better understanding of what Lexisnexis is now. Now that we know what Lexisnexis is all about, let's move on to the next question, which pertains to the main component of our interview today. As we all know, the Lexisnexis database encompasses a complex multitude of specific functions within its system. So how do you properly and extensively utilize this database to obtain the information that you are searching for?
Right. So with regards to this, you're going to have to think of a few aspects on what do you actually want to look for on the platform itself. Let's say, for example, if you want to conduct a case search, if you already know the name of said case, you can just easily type out the case name into the platform and you'll be able to search for it. That would be one scenario. Another scenario would be that you know what legal issues or what cause of action does the case that you're trying to look for pertains. So afterwards, all you're going to have to do is just to search for said legal issue or keyword searches that you want to search for. Once you type it out onto the Lexisnexis platform, then you will then be able to be greeted with a lot of different case data that discusses that particular legal issue. So if you were to search for anything with relation to like breach of contract and breach of trust, for example, the fact that the particular platform does allow you to have a simple navigation using the user interface itself, such as like your search term map, such as with these different type of color tagging options that you can see here. Number one, you'll be able to locate what you're trying to look for in the particular case database or in the particular database itself to get a preview of said document without having for you to open and to read the full entire case. So that's number one. Another one is that it helps you to just go through a preview of these particular case documents to save you more time in what you're trying to look for. Another thing that you can also do is that you can also use all of your different search filtration tools that's on your left hand side over here, where you can either change your content viewing either in terms of all of your different cases or your different legislations, or maybe even like your secondary materials itself, right? Another thing that you can also do, is that you can use any different types of secondary materials related to your particular access itself, and then you can see how all of the different publication access and you can obtain different points of views or insights depending on what you're trying to search for on the Lexisnexis platform.
Thank you for such a comprehensive explanation on how to use Lexisnexis. Moving on, since we only inquired about the correct ways in using this database, there are probably many instances where users make technical mistakes when trying to use the Lexisnexis. Thus, what do you think are the common problems faced by the users when trying to use this database?
In terms of the search engine or the red box on the Lexisnexis platform, it is actually equipped with a semantic parsing capability. So what this means is that the search engine is, number one, able to identify what you type in as a legal term, and then from there onwards it will then assign a color tagging to said legal term itself, right? So this can basically be like, let's say for example, if I were to just use a random word like breach, since that one is a legal term, so it will just highlight the term breach. In the previous example that I showed you earlier, this time it highlighted breach of contract. Since breach of contract is a legal term in itself, it has then highlighted said item, right? However, there will be some scenarios or there will be some situations where both of those conditions will then clash with each other, and then and then afterwards it will then give different color tags to a term that's supposed to be a legal term on its own. So that would be one of the main particular mistakes itself. So if you want to take a look at the particular screen over here, number one, you have a feature here known as the advanced search method. If you have something specific that you want to search for, simply just select on the MY cases option here as well. So in terms of any kind of difficulties or in terms of any kind of common mistakes, let's say, for example, if I want to search for the legal issue with relation to the thought of harassment topic here itself. So for anyone listening, thought of harassment is of course a legal issue by itself. However, search engines like these will mistake what you're trying to look for, and instead of it bringing you case documents related to thought of harassment, what it actually ends up bringing you would be, let's say, case documents related to tort, as you can see from the highlight over here. It will be case documents related to tort and related to harassment. So amongst this whole result, this is actually giving you three different results. Number one, case documents related to tort, case documents related to harassment, or maybe even both, right? This is where you can then use a Boolean search technique, or you can also use terms and connectors to help speed up your particular search. These terms and connectors, they, how do you call it? You can say that they are basically tools that assist you, or tools that instruct the search engine on what you're trying to look for itself. So let's say, for example, if I were to go through the previous web page over here. So from here, these are one of the few frequently used terms and connectors. In our scenario here, since we want to look for the proper full term of the word thought harassment, the best terms and connector we can use would be the open inverted commas over here. This is where you'll be able to instruct the search engine that the phrase or the term thought of harassment is a legal phrase by itself. Once when you do that, and then when you do click on search, straight away you can now see the difference in the case results. Previously we had 300 plus cases, and now we're just down to like 15 cases.
That was certainly a great insight on this issue. I could confirm that I had also faced the same problem on researching TOO in the past. So before we end this interview session, we have one last question for you, Mr. Marcus. Are there any advanced techniques in Lexisnexis that are typically known only to experienced and frequent users?
So let's say, for example, one of the main tools that we actually have other than the Lexis Advanced platform. So other than the Lexis Advanced platform, we also do have the particular tool known as Lexisnexis Malaysia. For Lexisnexis Malaysia, what it generally does is that it uses an AI feature, and this particular AI of this platform, what it does is that it takes into account historical case data and surface out relevant case documents depending on what you type into this particular platform. So let me give you a quick comparison. On Lexis Advanced Malaysia, what you would generally use, or what you would generally do when you want to conduct your research, is that you would use keyword searches, or you would use particular phrases when you're conducting those type of searches. That's number one. For Lexisnexis, instead of it using keyword searches, it actually requires you to type out as much or as many information that you would deem important or material, and then from that onwards, just by it using those information, it would then analyze throughout our main historical case data and then service out related case documents depending on what you type in. So you can either type it out in the form of a sentence, or you can type it out in the form of a paragraph, or maybe even a larger paragraph in that particular sense. So So most particular users, or this would be an excellent tool in terms of, let's say, new practitioners when they don't know where to start, for example. It can also be a tool that can give additional insights to seasoned lawyers as well, as this particular AI platform, what it mainly does is that it might even generate insights where the seasoned practitioner might not even thought of itself. So it gives them a new different type of angle, or it might give them a new different type of approach related to what they're trying to search for over here. So just to give you a quick understanding of this particular brief, this brief here itself relates to a landlord, who is our main client, and the landlord has rented out to a tenant, and now the tenant has rented the property out to a third party without the landlord's consent. Since there is a default in the payment, our landlord is trying to see what kind of damages or remuneration they can obtain. Right? So after you put all of this information in, and the moment when you do click on the analyze option, this will be the main page that you'll be greeted with. From here, everything that you see right now on the screen this will be known as the knowledge chart. The knowledge chart, what it does is that it takes into account, or it analyzes the data that you have keyed in, and then from there onwards it will then extract out all of the legal issues related to your particular brief that you've entered in earlier. Not only that, it also does give you all of the different recommendations on other legal issues that you may not have considered, or recommendations that might be suitable to your particular brief or the case that you're currently handling. From there onwards, you have the option to choose to tick and untick all of the related type of legal issues that you have available, or maybe even the legal facts that's also available to you as well. The moment when you apply said legal facts and legal issues, you will then be able to view all of the related types of case documents based on what you have selected earlier. So from here, number one, it gives you a head start. Head start meaning you get to straight away view all of the related types of legal issues, or all of the related type of legal cases based on what you're trying to look for. Number two, it gives you a different insight or aspect, or a different point of view in terms of what type of keywords that you can search for. That basically relates to all of the legal issues that was extracted and recommended based on what you type in as well. So from there, once you get the additional insights, or you get the additional keyword searches that you want to do, you can just straight away go back to the Lexis Advanced platform and then start your search from just by using those legal issues that has been presented to you from there onwards. That would then increase the different options that you can use to then conduct your legal research effectively. So with that, Lexis Analytics is one of the other additional tools that experienced users would then use in their day-to-day research itself. Right? Other than that, we can still refer back to the different terms and connectors that can also help you out in your particular research here as well. So, so let's say one of the most frequently used ones would be this / terms and connector. For this / terms and connector, there are a few different variations that you can use. Let's say, for example, if you were to use w/s, that basically means within the same sentence. Or if you use w/p within the same paragraph, or maybe even w/ and you can type out the exact number of words in between the two different search terms that you would like to use. So this is one of a good examples that I can basically show you. So one of my previous examples that I used earlier would just be related to breach of contract and breach of trust, as I'm using the terms and connectors of and in this scenario over here. What this means is that in this whole case result list, or what this means is that in this whole result list of cases, 366, these are basically case documents discussing about breach of contract and breach of trust. However, in their respective judgments, they could be discussing about breach of trust at the beginning of their judgment, and they could also be discussing about breach of contract at the end of their judgment itself. Or, if there were multiple parties in that judgment, the legal issue may apply to one party, or it might apply to the other, or maybe even both of those legal issues might apply to that one party itself. So technically speaking, you have different variations or different options of content that you can obtain from this particular terms and connectors of and that you're using, right? But what if I just want to look for case documents that are discussing about both of those legal issues together at the exact same time? From here, I can just easily use the term breach of contract, and then I'll use w/s within the same sentence, and then I'll use breach of trust. So what within the same sentence does, again, as the name itself suggests, what I'm trying to look for is the term breach of contract is being discussed in the same sentence as the term breach of contract itself, or breach of contract plus breach of trust in the exact same sentence. So from here, once when I do click on search, or once when I click on the search option, you can now see there is a huge difference in regards to the different types of search results. Previously, we had around 300 plus case documents, and then now we are down to 113 case documents discussing about the exact same topic, but with a different search parameter that we have included here itself. So from there, it is with all of these additional tools like your terms and connectors that basically help enhance your legal research to a much more greater heights. So hopefully with that, or hopefully with these different types of previews or different tools that's available on this platform, it can then help you further with your particular legal research.
This information is certainly really helpful, especially for the new users who are yet to familiarize themselves with using this database. Thank you so much, Mr. Marcus, for spending your time with us. It is indeed a great pleasure to have you on board with us for this episode of Research 101.
Sure.
Your insights have definitely been extremely valuable, and I am sure all of our viewers have benefited immensely from the tips and advice that you shared earlier. With that, this spells the end of our Lexisnexis video. Do remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to other people who you think might benefit from this video.